Very much, Mr. Crines. I'll now yield to Mr. Marchant of Texas to introduce Mr. Buthman of Kimberly-Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mark Buthman is the Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer of Kimberly-Clark Corporation in Irving, Texas. Kimberly-Clark has its world headquarters in my district in Irving, Texas, and employs 140 people there. I'm also very proud to represent Mark as a constituent of Southlake, Texas, his hometown. And Kimberly-Clark also employs another 930 people in Texas. Mr. Buthman joined Kimberly-Clark in 1982. Throughout his tenure, he has held a wide range of leadership roles and is an active participant in the Dallas area CFO Roundtable. I'm very pleased to introduce Mr. Buthman and have Kimberly-Clark represented regarding these very important issues before the committee this morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you. Mr. Buthman, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Congressman Marchant, for that introduction. Good morning, Chairman Camp, Ranking Member Levin, and distinguished members of the committee. Thank you for this opportunity to share our views on the need for comprehensive U.S. tax reform. First, I want to start with a brief overview of Kimberly-Clark, and then I want to address 3 key opportunities to improve the U.S. Tax system to increase the competitiveness of American companies as we compete in the global marketplace. For nearly 140 years, Kimberly-Clark has been providing consumers with essentials for a better life. With brands like Kleenex, Kotex, Scott, Huggies, and Depend, we estimate that 1 out of every 4 people in the world use a Kimberly-Clark product every day. Due to the nature of the products that we sell, which are bulky and costly to ship, our manufacturing operations need to be close to our consumers. Our products are sold in 150 countries around the world. We operate more than 100 facilities, and we employ 57,000 people worldwide. Over 15,000 of those employees are based here in the United States, with production facilities across 20 states. Most of the products we sell in the U.S. are developed and manufactured here. In fact, the majority of our $300 million research and development budget is spent in the United States. The U.S. is by far our largest market, representing more than half of our sales, but the categories in which we compete are mature in our country. In addition, Kimberly-Clark has a long-standing presence outside the United States, and given relatively low consumer usage of our products in those geographies, we view this as an important growth opportunity. Kimberly-Clark has a strong track record of investing in the U.S. through research and development, capital investment, and paying dividends to our shareholders. In addition to supporting jobs at Kimberly-Clark, our investment generates jobs and economic activity through our suppliers and in the communities in which we operate. To be able to effectively compete in today's global market, we need to expand and grow in the U.S. and abroad, and we need a tax system that enables us to compete in the global marketplace. There are 3 key ways we believe our tax system could do more to encourage investment, job creation, and economic growth in the United States. First, we need to have a more competitive tax rate. Second, we need to shift to a territorial system of taxation. And third, we need to simplify our tax rules. American companies have a terrific base of talent, an unrivaled track record of innovation, and some of the greatest products and brands in the world. Unfortunately, American companies face a clear disadvantage as a result of our U.S. tax system. A good first step to improving our competitiveness would be to reduce our tax rate to a level comparable to the combined rates of the rest of the OECD countries. As you know, the current combined U.S. federal and state tax rate is more than 50% higher than the average of other OECD countries. The second step would be to adopt a so-called territorial system, which does not layer U.S. tax on the income earned overseas that has already been subject to tax in the country in which it was earned. This includes taxing dividends being returned to the U.S. and taxing royalties that are paid by foreign affiliates for U.S.-based technology and intellectual property. By eliminating this extra layer of tax, the disincentive for American companies to reinvest their foreign earnings in the U.S. would be significantly reduced. The third way to improve our tax system would be to simplify our tax rules. The current international tax system is highly complex. This requires companies to devote significant resources to compliance activities rather than product innovation and growth. We need a system that reduces the cost of administration, reduces the risk of inadvertent error, and is easier to monitor. To continue to prosper and be relevant for the next 140 years, Kimberly-Clark has to grow our business at home and around the world. We have to be responsive to the needs and desires of our global consumers. We must continue to innovate and reinvest for future growth. To do all this, we need a tax system that is competitive with global norms, which is less complex and easier to administer, a system which gives us the flexibility to manage global operations in the most efficient manner, and finally, which incentivizes the deployment of capital to the U.S. and which promotes U.S. economic growth and job creation. This is an important debate, and I commend you for tackling it. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our views on tax reform, and I look forward to the question and answers.
Well, thank you, and thank you all very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and talk to us today about international tax issues. I have a question